Welcome, 8th graders. I am so thrilled to have you here today. Okay, let's dive right into this. Today, we're talking about a completely foundational element of your language arts journey, and that is selecting grade-appropriate texts for your independent reading. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking right now. Choosing books? Really? I just grab whatever looks cool or whatever my friends are reading. But here is a little secret that will unlock so much potential for you. The books you choose to read on your own, they matter tremendously for your future. This isn't just school busy work, guys. It's a strategic choice for your growth. Let's be real for a second. Have you ever just quit a book by page 3? Honestly, I know I have, and I bet a lot of you have too. You open it up, the language is super dense, you have no idea who the characters are, and suddenly you're just frustrated and you put it down. I want to completely validate that experience right now. It is so normal. Feeling frustrated by a confusing book doesn't mean you're a bad reader. Usually, it simply means you just haven't mastered the strategy of choosing the right text yet. Picking a book shouldn't be some random guessing game. It's actually a really strategic choice. So here is our game plan for today's lesson. We'll be moving through 6 quick sections: why your choices matter, the pursuit of wisdom, finding the perfect fit, the 5-finger rule, your reading homework, and we'll wrap up with the godly learner philosophy. By the time we finish, you're going to have the exact tools you need to select the perfect text every single time. Let's jump right in. Section 1, why your choices matter. Okay, so independent reading is absolutely not about forcing you to read boring, dusty school books. It's actually about empowering you to find texts that genuinely grab your interest while simultaneously challenging your brain. It creates this amazing domino effect in your mind. Hitting that right level of challenge introduces you to new words in their actual context, which naturally improves your vocabulary without you having to sit there memorizing flashcards. It boosts your reading comprehension, but honestly, maybe the most important part, it builds mental stamina. Think of it exactly like training for a sport. You don't just wake up and run a marathon, right? You run a mile, then 2, then 5. Reading the right books equips your brain to focus for longer periods of time. And trust me on this, that mental stamina is exactly what's going to prepare you for high school, for college, for those big state tests, and for your future career. You are quite literally building the muscles of your mind. Moving on to section 2, the pursuit of wisdom. Now, we need to look at why this matters not just academically, but on a spiritual level. Proverbs 1:5 tells us, "Let the wise hear and increase in learning, and the one who understands obtain guidance." As 8th graders, you're stepping into this really exciting season of life where you are taking ownership of your own learning. Reading isn't just some chore your teacher gives you anymore. It's a lifelong pathway to wisdom. Think about it. A truly wise person doesn't just stop learning the second the school bell rings. They intentionally increase in understanding. So by choosing the right books, you're actually opening yourself up to obtain guidance and grow in wisdom every single day. All right, section 3, finding the perfect fit. We have to talk about the danger zone, choosing books that sit on the extreme ends of the difficulty scale. Because honestly, both extremes are going to stunt your academic growth. Let's look at the too easy side first. Imagine picking up a book you already read back in the 5th grade. Sure, it's fun, it's cozy, it feels good, but guess what? It adds 0 new skills. You don't see any new vocabulary, and your brain isn't being challenged. On the flip side is too hard. This is that confusing novel we talked about earlier. You start reading, the language is totally over your head, and you're completely lost by page 3. What happens? Massive frustration, you throw it in your backpack, and you quit. Neither of these extremes is helping you increase in learning. So what is the right fit? A perfect text is one that keeps you highly engaged because you actually care about what you're reading, but it also sneaks in some new vocabulary. Let's say you're absolutely obsessed with space exploration. You find this really cool science book about Mars rovers, but it's written at maybe an 8th or 9th grade level. Because you love space so much, you're willing to push through those slightly harder, more technical paragraphs. That text right there is the perfect balance of personal interest and academic challenge. And finding that perfect match is actually super simple. It really just comes down to 3 steps. Step 1, start with a topic you genuinely find interesting. Do you love sports, history, mysteries, sci-fi? Start there, because a book you actually want to read is a million times easier to commit to. Step 2, check the difficulty, which I'm going to show you how to do in just a second. And step 3, read a short sample. Seriously, never judge a book just by its cover. Always read the first page. Which brings us perfectly to section 4, the 5-finger rule. Okay, I want you to burn this number into your brain 5. This is going to be your main go-to strategy to test a book's difficulty, and you can literally use it right away today in the library. Here's how the 5-finger rule works. You open a perspective book to any random page right in the middle. Read that page and hold up one finger for every single word you either don't know the meaning of or can't pronounce. If you hit 5 fingers before you finish that single page, that book is just a bit too challenging for your independent reading right now. It might be a fantastic book, but maybe just save it for next year. Now, after you pass that 5-finger test, I want you to ask yourself this question while you're reading your short sample. Can you follow the story or the information without having to reread every single sentence? If it holds your attention and it makes sense without this intense, exhausting effort, then congratulations, you have found a really great match. All right, Section 5, your reading homework. If you don't have your notebooks out already, grab them now because you'll want to write these actionable assignments down. I have 5 specific tasks for you to apply what we've learned today. First, you need to physically practice this new skill. So use the 5-finger rule on 3 different books in the school library or at home and jot down your results. Second, list 3 topics you genuinely want to explore. Third, take that list to a librarian or a teacher and ask them for one grade-appropriate recommendation based on those topics. Fourth, I want you to find 2 books, one that is clearly way too easy and one that is definitely too hard, and write down exactly why they don't fit. And finally, choose your perfect fit book for this term and write a brief explanation of why you chose it. And finally, Section 6, the godly learner. This all brings us right back to the very core of why we pursue academic excellence in the first place here at HeroesMart Academy. What exactly is a godly learner? Well, a godly learner is someone who pursues academic excellence while keeping their minds centered on God, truth, and righteous choices. You see, we intertwine biblical morality with our education because education without morality can actually cause harm. Just being smart isn't enough. Your growing intelligence, your increasing vocabulary, your mental stamina, all of those should be tools that help you make wise, God-honoring choices out there in the real world, rather than simply making you more capable of just doing whatever you want. We anchor this whole philosophy right here in Romans chapter 8, verses 6 and 7. It says, "For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace." As you are out there stretching your mind with new, challenging texts, you have to guard what you're filling your mind with. Keeping your mind spiritually focused, actively seeking truth and wisdom in the things you read, that is what leads to true life and peace. So, 8th graders, here is my final and arguably most important question for you today. How will you use your reading to seek God's truth today? I really challenge you to take these new skills, the 5-finger rule, the pursuit of the perfect fit, and go pursue wisdom enthusiastically. Go find a book that challenges your mind and honors your spirit. I absolutely cannot wait to see what you choose to read. Happy reading, everyone!